Hello again, welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we're thinking about what sort of flowers can be planted in autumn. To begin with, you're joining us as we are clearing one of our borders. We have lots of borders and beds that we clear at this time of the year. What we mean by that is the perennial plants, like I've just been doing here, are cut back. So we're cutting them back to about an inch, a little bit more above the ground. Perennials we're cutting back. The annual bedding, such as these bedding begonias here, we pull out. So we're taking the annual bedding out, we're cutting back the perennials, preparing the beds and the borders ready for planting. It's not one of my favourite jobs, this. It's a little bit tedious, can be a little bit difficult, but it's a job that we normally do at this time of the year. Some areas of our perennial planting we'll actually leave until the spring to cut back, because actually the seed heads and things like that are very beautiful. We like to leave some for the birds, etc. But in areas where we want to plant, and we feel that this is the best time to actually cut back. Now when we've cut back, we do some planting. And Nadge is now going to stand up and she's just going to walk along this border here. It's the same border, but it's an area that I've done already, where I've started to do some planting. Now what I've put in here are Polyanthus and Bellis, alternating between Polyanthus and Bellis. These are some lovely winter and spring bedding plants that we put in, that we think produces a beautiful show, particularly in the springtime. And that's what we've done all the way down the border. Over here against the wall, where Nadge is pointing now, over here against the wall, she's showing you the bedding plants that we're going to be putting out. So we've got several, well, about 1,000 I guess, we've used some already. We start off with Bellis at that end. There's some Primroses going on to Violas and Pansies. Going a little bit further down, we're coming to some Wallflowers. We've got more Bellis there going down. There's a lovely tray of Primroses here. You can see a few of the Primroses actually starting to come out. Lovely. More Bellis, Polyanthus, more Primroses, Bellis, Wallflowers, Polyanthus. All of those are the plants that we grow ready to put out at this time of the year to last us through the winter, to give a little bit of colour during the winter, but mainly for the effect that they will have early next year. We've grown all of these ourselves from either from seed or from plugs which we planted and grown on. We've now come to what we call our background bed. Many of you will be familiar with this area. And we're thinking about what we're going to be planting here. We've already cleared it, and so now we're going to plant several different types of flowers. To begin with, we're going to be planting some bulbs. We're going to be planting some tulip bulbs. We like some lovely tulips down the middle. It's one of Nadji's favourite flowers, a tulip. So I'm going to be planting some tulips. I've got this because I like to plant them quite deep. So I'm making myself a nice deep hole. It certainly should. And I'm putting a tulip bulb in. Several inches, darling, several inches. And so I'm now going to put another one here. Okay, I'll put one over here. So this is going to provide, so these tulips are going to be quite tall. They're going to provide some sort of structure for the bed in the springtime. Let's put one in there as well. Yep, I'm just going to go across here a little bit. I'm going to put one or two in here. There are already some tulips in from previous years, and I'm hoping that I'm not going to dig them up. Okay, so I put the tulips in. I'm deliberately not covering them over at the moment, so I'm just leaving them there so that I make sure that I'm not going to plant something on top of them. So we'll assume that I've put some tulips all the way up the centre of the bed. I'm now going to put some perennials in. Here I've got a selection of Echinaceas that we've grown from plugs. They're now healthy plants. This is a really good time of the year now to be putting some perennials in. The perennials are quite big and well established plants. The ground is still quite warm, the soil's quite warm, it's nice and damp. Conditions are pretty good for planting these sort of things. So I'm going to put some of these beautiful Echinacea in. I think I'm going to start off with one just about there. The ground has been thoroughly prepared. It's been dug over, organic fertiliser added. So this is a nice, what colour is that? Can you read it?
Red.
Okay.
Your favourite?
Yeah, beautiful red Echinacea. Okay. So that one is going to go into there. I'm going to put a different colour Echinacea in here. What have we got? We've got some white ones, haven't we? So that's Kismet white. So we'll put a lovely white one in here. Going to go down to here, and I think we'll put another red one in. Oh, you see there, I've dug up a tulip from last year. I'm going to have to put that back in. If you could give me a red one, please, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. Alright, we've got a huge range of perennials at the moment to be planting. What have we got? Another white one?
Orange.
Okay, we'll have an orange one.
Yeah, I thought this.
Oh, that looks nice. Let's put that one in. And I'm just going to put one more. What are you going to give me? Oh, a lovely white one.
You like the red? You smell red here.
That's great. So those beautiful Echinacea then should soon establish and should grow away quite well. And next year they'll be providing us with some lovely colour. What I'm going to do now is, I'm thinking about right at the very front of the bed, the foreground here. I'm going to put some bedding in there. I'm going to put a mixture of Primroses and Bellis. We all know what Primroses are like. The Bellis are a beautiful blue flower. They're one of my favourites. They flower and flower for ages and ages and ages. So I'm going to put a mixture of them down the front here. Now I'm going to start off by just digging over the soil a little bit, because I've been kneeling and standing on there. I just need to freshen that up a little bit. Yeah, I can reach. So what sort of distance apart is that? Is that about 4 or 5 inches, something like that, would you say?
Yeah.
Okay, that's about the sort of distance that we normally think about putting these sort of flowers. So I'm going to start off with a Bellis then. Then we'll go to a Primrose, then another Bellis, then another Primrose. So that looks to be okay, so we're then going to just firm them in. Watered, but they will be watered again once they've actually been planted. But those should do really, really well there. I'm now going to come down where you're standing at the moment. I'm heading down towards you, coming down this way. As I said, we've got a huge range of perennials to plant in different places. We're not going to plant them all now, we're going to keep some back till springtime. And we're also going to propagate as well, to divide and things like that. I'm actually going to do that in another video. Propagating, dividing, to make more perennial plants on another occasion. So I think then, a lovely Primrose. a Bellis and a Primrose. Okay, I think they're going to look really, really good. There we are then. I will carry on later off camera, but that just gives you an idea of how we're going to plant this wonderful bed here. So that in springtime, we've got a really beautiful display of colour. We've got some perennials that are going to establish and are going to last for a long time. We've got a mixture of bulbs, perennials and air bedding. Hope you put some plants in this autumn, this fall, and that you're going to have a beautiful show of flowers as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Beautiful. Look at those.